Hello, chess fans. Welcome to the interview with Woman Grandmaster Vijayalakshmi Subbaraman. I hope I pronounced this correctly.
Yes.
You for accepting this interview.
Yes. Pleasure to be here, Aguran. Thank you so much.
So 2 weeks ago, there was an interview with Vaishali Rameshbabu in the Indian newspaper, and she talked about various topics, mostly about the unfinished World Rapid and Blitz in New York. But somehow the editor decided to put a big title, Woman Grandmaster title should be abolished. And then you reacted very strongly on X, on Twitter. Was your reaction of disappointment, or how did you feel when you saw that title?
Well, as the tweet itself said, I was visibly distraught when I saw the headline in the newspaper because, in fact, Vaishali was one of my biggest bets when a couple of years ago I had myself said that Vaishali is one of the strongest women players, to take the legacy from after me or Humpy or Harika. So it was very surprising to see that being a woman player, starting from a very humble beginning and then going on to become a very strong player, post becoming a grandmaster, it was surprising to see that she wanted to abolish the women grandmaster titles. So it was a bit of a shocker to me, definitely.
Mhm. You were the first Indian woman grandmaster ever back in 2001. How difficult it was to achieve this? Did you have trainers support back then?
When I started chess, I was 3.5 years, and that was way back in 1980s, early 80s. So chess was barely in its beginning at that point of time in India, and from the place where I was, that is Chennai, and Chennai is considered to be the mecca of chess for
Mhm.
in India. So
Yeah.
Anand was just one. I mean, like when I entered the chess club, Anand had just gone for the national championship. So it was from that time I had started playing, and women's chess was just not even, probably at the opening stages. When I was the national women's champion in 1995, I mean, I was I played as an unrated player because there was hardly any tournaments for us. And I was the first woman grandmaster. I won the title in 2000 July, and my title was conferred in 2001 after the FIDE meet. So, I mean, when I started, yes, it was absolutely even impossible to think
Mhm.
for an Indian woman to become a grandmaster because 2-3 rating was something which was never achieved by an Indian woman at that point of time. Nevertheless, I'm extremely happy that, from that to what we are right now. We are probably the strongest women team in the world, and we have won the Olympiad. So, I mean, I'm really happy that somewhere I have been a part of this success story, and I've been, probably. Probably one of the stepping stones for the country's women to progress so much. So I'm really happy about that.
Your sister Minakshi is also a woman grandmaster, and you come from a chess family. Your another sister is also playing chess, right?
Yes, absolutely right, Goran. My younger sister, Meenakshi Subbaraman, she's also a woman grandmaster. And my youngest, the last sister, Bhanupriya, I mean, she started out really well and she was playing very good, but then she was too good in her studies. So she went on to complete her Master of Science and then went on from, she became a
Mhm.
master's there. And honestly, it was a very, very humble beginning for us because my father was my coach, and I mean, for the previous question, I think I just left out that part. There was no coach at the initial stages, so it was definitely my father who had taught the game, and it was a complete family effort. My parents and my sisters, all it was just the five of us, and it took a lot of effort. I mean, beyond human strength for my family to be there for me and to make me who I am. So I'm not going to be diminishing that effort of how I became the woman grandmaster. So that is something. It was a very, very tough story. It was a very tough story, but I would not want to change even one bit of it.
That's a big achievement. Huge credit to your father and to your family.
Thank
Um,
you.
your highest official elo was 2485. I checked on the FIDE website, and I read somewhere that you were even closer to the 2495 in live ratings. How did you feel on narrowly missing this Grandmaster title and rating?
Okay, I mean, okay. So after I became the first woman grandmaster in July 2000, in fact, it's a very, very funny story, Guran, because I won my woman grandmaster title by playing in the men's tournament.
Mhm.
It was a men's closed even because there were not many women tournaments. So I got my women grandmaster title there. And then I played the women's Olympiad, where I got my men international master title completed. So it was very ironical that I won the women grandmaster title in the men and the men title in the women. That being said, I mean, then I went on to win three more men grandmaster norms,
Mhm.
and yes, my highest ELO was 2485 with, and my live rating was somewhere around 2498.3 or something like that. But then unfortunately in 2007 my dad passed away, so I had taken a kind of a sabbatical from chess because it was very difficult for me to get back to chess after losing my dad, who was my biggest inspiration for chess. So it was very difficult at that point of time. But then subsequently, with my husband's help, then who has started coaching me, I was able to win another grandmaster norm. So I right now have four men grandmaster norms, but yes, I'm short of the rating.
We should say your husband is Grandmaster Sriram Jha.
Sriram.
Did I
Yes,
say this
yes.
correct? Okay.
My husband is Grandmaster Sriramja, and
Mhm.
he has been my coach post our wedding, and he has been helping me out to a very great extent.
But I saw you were not very active since the pandemic started. Will you make a comeback?
Yes, yes, you're right. Post the pandemic, I started working in my office, so I
Mhm.
was busy with my office. I was working there as a finance executive. I was heading a
Mhm.
region with Air India Limited. So I mean, like I took my VR voluntary retirement last year in February. So I mean, I thought, okay, I need a 6 months break. So probably in another 6 months, I'll maybe get back to chess, because chess is my life and it's my passion. So I can't be far from it. Yeah.
And now chess is big in India.
Definitely, definitely. I mean, undoubtedly, rather. But yes, I mean, I would like to take it with a pinch of salt, because the men chess, yes, it has boomed like anything. But the women chess is not as much as I would like it to be, because I think the number of grandmasters in men is going to be touching 100, but in women we are not at that space. We are not in that kind of a space. Yes, we are very strong as a women team, but at the category levels, maybe at a 2-3 level or 2-4 levels, we don't have that many women players.
Mhm. Maybe we can appeal to the All India Chess Federation to maybe invest more efforts in promoting women's chess.
Garan, now I think we get back to what I've been trying to say, because women's chess needs a lot of support and encouragement. And this is not only about Indian women's chess. I mean, when in fact, after I've been going through a lot of information the last few days, and the case is not only with Indian women's chess. I think it is across the globe. The women's chess in general, the percentage has reduced drastically from what it was about 10-15 years ago. So that's worrisome, and I mean, I hope we do something about it, because in fact, it's a bit scary to see Judit or Vaishali, who are telling that women's titles should be abolished. Probably this will lead for the women's chess to be abolished if this goes on, at this rate. I'm a bit worried about that.
Mhm. Um, you played in four Olympiads for India, is that correct? Did I count? Well,
Yes.
okay. So you know how difficult this competition is, and how do you comment on the achievement of India in the last Olympiad in Budapest?
Oh, well, Indian women have been, I mean, both the men and the women have been playing really good. When I played the Olympiad, Chess Olympiad, I
Mhm.
mean, we were probably seated somewhere around 30 or 40.
You were
And
board one,
we
right?
Yeah, I was playing board number one, and in 2000 and 2002, I scored the top board gold medal.
Mhm.
So, I mean, the silver medal on both the times, because I was we were not the strongest team at that time, but I was able to play quite steadily on the top board, and I could win the silver medal on the top board for India in 2000 and 2002. So I'm extremely proud and happy about that. As I said, somewhere down the lane, it gave us like there was a hope. At that time, I remember we used to have Mr. Salo, Grandmaster Salo, and Grandmaster Vladimir as our coaches, and at one point they started believing that yes, maybe it is possible for the Indian women also to start scoring medals. And then we had Sherbakova. So many of the Russian grandmasters came in, and it was like probably they started thinking, yes, it is not impossible for the Indian women also to get the medals. And then in 2022, we had the Chennai Olympiad, and we were very close to winning the gold medal. And I was deeply hurt that we couldn't win the gold medal. So it was very sweet in 2024 that we could win the gold along with the men. So that made it all the more special.
Mhm. And how did you see the World Championship match between Gukesh and Ding?
Gukesh and Ding was amazing. I mean, it was one of the most ecstatic moments for me personally as a chess grandmaster, because when you see an 18-year-old, I mean, and especially, yeah, of course, he's from India, so that made it very, very special. But even otherwise, for an 18-year-old to have such kind of composure, I think the only point where he lost his composure was at the last point when he was going to take rook after. I think his hands were shivering. I think that was probably the only moment when I saw Gukesh actually give up on his emotions. But other than that, and he's amazing. He's amazing. So I mean, it's a very, very proud feeling for me to see an 18-year-old and an 18-year-old Indian winning the world championship. So I mean, it was one of the most ecstatic moments for me.
He's very mature for an 18-year-old, but what do you think about his acting skills in this advertisement with Anand?
I think he has got a talent there as well, because he has got the looks, he's got the physics. So I believe he can be a good hero as well. I wouldn't mind seeing him as a great hero off the
Okay,
board as well.
let's go back to women's chess. Do you see any big Indian talent among the Indian girls coming up soon to the top ranks?
Well, right now I think Divya and Vantika are doing
Mm-hmm.
really great.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, probably they are in the next generation, and they are doing really great. And there are more girls that are coming, but probably not at the level of Divya or Vantika. So I think the next big names are going to be Divya and Vantika.
As a pioneer of women's chess in India, I feel free to say that. Do you have any message for the young girls that are now coming up picking up to play chess?
Well, for starters, yes, definitely. I think the most important thing as a chess player would be to enjoy the game, because the game in itself is so beautiful, and not to be totally engrossed in laptop and engines. And, I think that's something which I would like to advise to all the youngsters and to the women players, because yes, engines help a lot in analyzing a position, but it is imperative for us to understand the game for its beauty, because
Mhm.
chess as a game is so very beautiful that it's okay to make some mistakes and to play what your heart tells. So sometimes even that makes a lot of sense. So that is something which I would like to tell all the youngsters and the women players, that please enjoy, and yes, once we go up the ladder, let us not kick the ladder as well.
Okay, Vijayalakshmi, thank you so much for joining me for this interview. It was a big pleasure talking to you, and I hope you will become active in chess again as a player and maybe as a coach or mentor to the young players. And I hope to see you soon again.
Thank you, Goran. Yes, I would be getting back to chess sooner than we think. Yes.
That's great. That's great.